Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. I am so excited to be bringing you the exact blueprint to get you from where you are right now to not only dropping 10 kilos, but building a strong athletic figure and ultimately looking and feeling unstoppable in a bikini when it comes to summer. Because right now, those 1200 calorie diets, cutting carbs, telling yourself you can't have chocolate, wine, crisps and dip are not doing you any favors. I know that your life is jam-packed and full to the brim. And right now it's about finding a method that works for you, and this blueprint is going to give you exactly that. So before we jump into the video, a little bit about me. My name is Georgia. I'm a women's online health and fitness coach, and I have 5 years coaching experience working with hundreds of women to help them achieve incredible results, just like the ones that I'm going to show you how to do in this video. I work with high performing women, so their careers are thriving. They are bursting at the seams, and they are also holding down a social life, running a family, running a household, all at the same time. And so my high performance fitness program is literally built to flex around your busy lifestyle, and I am not holding anything back in this video. I'm going to be giving away the exact steps that you need to follow to get your dream body in time for summer 2026. So moving into what we are going to be covering in today's video. So first of all, we're going to go into nutrition, which, as you know, is a massive mover when it comes to weight loss and creating sustainable results long term. So I'm going to be running through my 3-step method to structure your meals in order to drop that 10 kilos. But not only that, we're not just going to be eating chicken, rice and veg. I want you to absolutely enjoy what you're eating. I want you to make sure that you are feeling satisfied by what you're eating in order to minimize your cravings, okay? Because again, we want to be performing our best not only within health and fitness, but also within your career as well. I'm also going to be running through simple yet effective habits to build into your weeks that are going to buy you back more time rather than, again, just adding another thing onto your to-do list. And then the last thing that we're going to touch on is how to structure your workout so that you can see standout results. I know that you're not someone who has time to waste, okay? We want to be making sure that everything that we are doing is effective and is also working with you. So with that being said, let's get into the first aspect of this video, which is all going to be focused around that nutrition. So the first step in this 3-step method is always going to be your protein. I want you to make sure that when you are building out your meals, your protein is your first point of call. The reason why this is because it's going to stabilize your hunger and therefore your energy throughout the day. So how often do you have your breakfast in the morning? You pop to prep on the way to the office, you grab a almond croissant and a iced latte, and then when it comes to 10 o'clock, you're already hungry, you can't focus in your morning meetings, and you know that you're not getting the best out of your work and your productivity is affected. Having protein, especially with that first meal in the day, is going to make sure that we are stabilizing that hunger and your focus throughout the rest of your day. It's also going to help to make sure that you're recovering efficiently from your workouts as well. So what does that actually look like as an action step? So what I want you to do is pick your protein source first of all. So if we take breakfast, that might be something like eggs, or we've got things like Greek yogurt as well if you wanted a sweet breakfast, or you could even opt for protein powders. Then for your lunch and dinner, you want to base that off of something like a lean source of protein. So for example, chicken, you've got fish, and then you've also got things like 5% fat beef mince. That kind of thing is going to be perfect. So that is the first building block to your meal. Then from there, we want to add on the next building block. This is going to be where we bulk out with your fibre. So before we move on to anything else within your meal, where is your fibre coming from? A really good way to boost your fibre is through boosting your fruit and your veg. So with every single meal, we want to have 1 to 2 servings of fruit and veg. Or if you're doing this more by measurement, this could be 100 to 200 grams, whichever is easier for you to measure. This is going to create a real high volume food. So the reason why adding more fruit and veg to your meals is a good idea is because it gives you so much more bang for your buck where your calories are concerned. Plus, it's going to help to keep you full in between those meals. So like what we said with protein, your fibre is going to help slow down that digestion process, which is going to keep you focused in between those meal times. Make sure as well that you are energized, you have mental clarity, you don't have this constant food noise in the back of your head that is distracting you from your work and from your day-to-day life. This is also going to help to maintain a healthy digestion as well, which is super important. So what does this look like? If we go to step 1 again, we've got our protein source. Let's take breakfast. So if we're going with eggs, can we make it into something like an omelette and add some veggies, for example, peppers, onions, mushrooms, tomatoes? Super, super easy. If we're going with a sweet breakfast, things like berries, bananas are going to be absolutely perfect. Then if we go on to lunch and dinner, this is where we're probably going to be looking at either veg or salad. So depending on what you're having, bulking it out with a big side salad or something like some mixed vegetables or some broccoli, whatever you have that you can reach for to bulk out those meals. This is going to give you, as I said, a much more pleasing plate to look at visually, which also sends that signal to your body knowing that you're going to be full from that meal. Then you also eat that meal. It is actually going to do what it says on the tin, and it's going to help you keep you full in between those meals, keep you focused, and maintain a healthy digestive system. Then the third step when it comes to our meals, this is your carbs, okay? Do not skip your carbs. They are so important, okay? This is your number one source of energy for your body. So not only is it going to, again, help with that sustained energy throughout the day, but it's going to avoid those big peaks and crashes. Again, going back to my almond croissant that I mentioned earlier, you have that peak in the morning, you have that sugar rush, and then you have that crash because you haven't got your slow releasing carbohydrates. So we want to be making sure that we are having slow releasing carbohydrates, whole grain carbohydrates with each of your meals, okay? That is the third step to making sure that you have got a complete and nutritional meal. This means that you can get so much more of your calories and you can actually sustain eating a good amount of food rather than having to starve yourself and eat 1,200 or even 1,000 calories per day, which unfortunately is a reality for so many women out there because they don't know how to structure their meals correctly. This is going to help keep you going through long working days, long hours when you have got those intense deadlines. This is so important that you can perform at your best because you are fueling your body for success. Likewise as well, it's also going to help to fuel your training for success, which we'll get onto in just a little bit. So moving on now to one of the key habits that I want you to focus on in order to make sure that we are dropping that 10 kilos by summer and we are getting you feeling as confident as possible and building the strong athletic figure that you have always dreamt of. This is your steps. This is something that is so underrated. And once again, the client base that I work with, they work a desk job. We're talking long hours. We're not talking the classic 9 to 5. We're talking long hours working into the evening. And if my clients can hit an average of 8 to 10K steps plus, then this is something that you can easily incorporate in your day because my clients don't have more time. They just know how to manage their time better. So first of all, it's really important that you meet yourself where you are at. So if you are currently doing 3,000 steps per day, this is where we want to start building. There is no point in trying to go to 10,000 steps because it's not going to happen. And this is where we create this all or nothing mentality around your health and fitness, which is ultimately why we haven't stayed on track so far within your journey. So I want you to look at your current step average and I want you to add just an extra 1,000 steps. So going back to if that is currently 3K, we're going to add an extra 1,000. That takes us up to a 4K target. It's going to give you a push in the right direction, but it's going to be in a way that is gradual. Gradual progression is really key here so that you can build consistently. And ultimately, like I say, we break this all or nothing cycle of having to be either perfect or not. Because again, a really common theme that I see with the women that I work with, because of the way that they move within their career, everything has to be perfect and everything has to be ticked off 100%, which is why you want to set yourself up for success with this. Then we want to make sure how we're actually going to achieve that. It's very easy to go, I need to do more steps, so I'm going to go and walk for an hour. But I know that right now you probably don't have an hour spare to go out for a walk. So it's really important that you break up that target throughout the day and you do this in small, manageable chunks. Another thing that really sets my clients apart, and it's the reason why they are consistent with their steps, is because they habit stack. So if you can answer emails on your phone, if you have like work communication channels on a work phone, anything that you can do whilst walking, I would stack with those steps because honestly, it makes a world of difference. Likewise, if you're on a call, you don't need to have your camera on, you're just there to be present. Do the steps at the same time. Habit stack and stack those two tasks together and you will buy yourself time back in your working week so that you can have that important downtime when you are not working, which is super key. Now, the last thing that I wanted to touch on in this video is structuring your workouts, because once again, I know that when you're tight on time, you need to get the absolute most out of those gym sessions. You don't want to be walking into the gym feeling like you are not achieving anything because, again, as a high performer, I know that you want to be set up for success. So what we want to do, first of all, is train at a frequency that actually complements your schedule. You might see people on social media who are training 5, 6, 7 times a week. That's great for them. If that works for them, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that that is what's going to complement your lifestyle. So I want you to actually take a real look at your week and the time that you can realistically commit. I don't just mean on 1 week, I mean week in, week out. And if it is starting with 2 or 3 workouts, then that is where you're going to start. Because again, that is setting you up for success, which, as I mentioned previously with steps, is so important with the type of mindset that I know you have if you are watching this video. When you get into the gym, the first thing that I want you to do is focus on your resistance training first, so you can really go all in on this part of your workout. Then you're going to finish your training session with your cardio. Now, in order to progress those workouts over time, because again, once your body has adapted, we need to make sure that we are progressing so it can continue to adapt and you can continue to see the best results possible. And that really is the key to seeing those results that we talked about in the beginning of this video. So over time, you need to scale those workouts up. This is going to be through two things. The first thing is going to be through gradually progressing your weights and the reps that you're doing within your workouts and within the exercises that you have selected. And the second thing is to gradually scale up your cardio over time. So say, for example, you start off with 10 minutes cardio at the end of each of your sessions. If you're doing 3 sessions, that would be a total of 30 minutes cardio across the week. A couple of months down the line or a month down the line, depending on how progress has been, you may add an extra 5 to 10 minutes depending on the time that you have available so that you can then scale that up. What I mean with this is we want to make sure that we are gradually progressing over time. Same with the steps. So instead of going from 3K step average to 10K step average, it's the same with this. Instead of going from no workouts or the odd workout here and there, we first of all just want to get you into a structure that is working for you. Once we get into that structure and you're showing up consistently, then we want to scale up over time. We want to look at progressing the weights. We want to look at increasing the cardio gradually over time. And that is what is going to get you building and ultimately transforming your lifestyle to get you the results that you have always dreamt of. And that is really the approach that I take with my clients. So if you want me to take out the thinking of everything that I've just run through and map out this entire process for you, I just want you to comment the word summer down below this video. And what I'll do is I'll send you over the link to apply for my one-to-one coaching. Like I said, my aim with my high performance fitness program is to meet you where you're at and to gradually push you in the right direction in a way that still allows you to perform at your absolute best within your career and also within your personal life as well, without jeopardizing either of those. Because I strongly believe that those two things, the thriving career and your health and fitness results, they can coexist. And in my world, that is where we make it happen. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I literally post content like this every single week. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.